They're really learning about themselves and how they fit into the world of creating film. They're learning about a creative process, how they themselves can develop the technical and the aesthetic skills to take ideas from beginning, we call it pre-production, through production, the actual getting out into the field and working with crews, working with casts, working with other professional persons that come on to help make the project successful, and then they're working at the post-production stage. So they're working through the different stages and learning about how they themselves can bring their own creativity, how they can steal from the traditionalists some, and how in fact these ideas will work to create a successful production.
Emerson for me was a chance to be a filmmaker and to pursue my own artistic visions.
You're not just learning really great equipment, which some schools don't have the ability to do. You're learning how to think about the medium. So we take you through a series of courses in film studies. You learn the history, you learn the aesthetics, you learn the theory. And not only about what the scholars and what have you are writing about, you're also learning about how this is now relevant to an actual producer or an actual cinematographer or an actual director.
I've gotten to know and to work with a number of faculty members here that's really enriched my experience and begin to allow me to articulate my ideas as a filmmaker. I'm also pleased that a lot of the film at Emerson is very student motivated and that they're constant. The students initiate projects, the students are in control of projects, students make them, and then the end of the film product that they create is their own. And so I've come away with Emerson with several films that are mine, as well as other crew members, and something that I'm proud to call mine.
A successful student is a student that's not willing to accept just showing up to class and perhaps creating something, but a student that's willing to push the ante. And what I mean is a student that's willing to study hard and that's constantly trying to answer questions for themselves. And what I mean is a student that is going to take the idea in class and go home and try and figure out all the movies that they've seen that have impacted on their consciousness and try to apply those ideas to them and come back to class the next day with a question. Those are the students that I know are really thinking and really working hard. And by the end of the semester, I'm almost sure of the students who are going to create interesting and successful projects. Those are the ones who take it, who go home, and who wrestle with it. Because when they come back to class, they're going to challenge you about what you said.
Emerson is sometimes fun, but more often it's work. It's challenging.
There's a big word in education, we call it pedagogy. What that really means is I have got to find the best means to communicate to the students how this art is working.
I really wanted to do something that was just nothing that had been done here, or something that was just so overwhelming that people were like, wow, this is actually really good. Something I could walk away with and say, this is what I did. And I think in some aspects I accomplished that, and other aspects it is very humbling. It's an amazing experience to actually work on a film with 7 other people and to see how things just aren't going to work out in your favor all the time. And you go in thinking, you know what, this year is the year that everything is going to go right. And when you start to do it, it just doesn't happen that way. But at the same time, it keeps you motivated. It keeps you wanting more.
I think Emerson students have the passion. I think they have the drive. I think sometimes the art is overwhelming. I think sometimes they realize that it's really a lesson in life. Sometimes they have to change their behaviors. Sometimes they have to develop discipline.
So when I first pitched it, we didn't actually have a story or characters. We just had an idea about how to make a film.
Well, I was the director of photography on this particular project. The project itself was a little bit, it's kind of a difficult thing to explain, but at the same time, it really is kind of simple at the same time.
During the voting process, I was sitting on the edge of my seat. It was this very complex selection process in which we narrowed down to the 2 films that we wanted to do. And I really already cared about this idea a great deal, and I wanted to do it. So when it was selected, I was completely enthusiastic, and I couldn't wait to begin production. And I was very excited that people were pleased with my ideas and that my ideas were receiving a favorable audience, even just within the classroom. The idea began not really as a story, but as a way of making a film. I wanted to experiment with other ways to tell stories than just a linear 3-act narrative, which is the basis of most movies that we see. And so I turned to mathematics as a way to do that, and I looked at fractal geometry as something very different from the way we normally think, 1, 2, 3. It worked instead in a way that changed a single idea gradually over time, expounding upon it.
So, I hear you're planning to return to school this fall.
My parents feel it's for the best. Hey, Tyler.
Tyler, don't run inside.
So you're a math teacher?
Yeah, quite, sort of. Still the will.
He's a professor
at
at
university.
When are they reading it?
Teaches geometry.
Well, fractal geometry. I'm also
I'm glad we were able to get a room
That
this
sounds
evening. This
complex.
place is tremendously busy
Well,
at this time
yeah,
of year.
I suppose, but it doesn't have to
Seems
be.
nice enough,
mean,
though the
it can
decor
actually
is
be kind of
melancholy.
Tyler,
Wine
would you get up from
cellar.
under there? Oh,
Believe that's over?
Not quite over. There's still the will.
Forgotten about that. So when are they reading it?
Thursday. So, I hear you're planning to return to school in the fall.
My parents feel it's for the best. Hi, Tyler.
Tyler, don't run.
So you're a math teacher?
Well, yeah, sort of.
He's a professor at the university.
Glad we were able to get a room this evening. This place is tremendously busy this time of year.
Seems nice enough, though the decor is melancholy.
Mother, are you alright? That's very beautiful.
Yes, my grandfather gave it to me when I was 13.
You must miss him.
Tyler, would you get up from under there? Tyler?
I'll let him play if he wants to.
On the contrary,
He's
it's
probably
beautiful.
bored.
Fractal geometry. That sounds complex.
No. Well, yeah, I suppose, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, it can actually be kind of fun.
I've never thought of geometry as being fun. Raphael, isn't it?
Oh,
Michelangelo. Da Vinci, The Last Supper.
Does Da Vinci work in Milan?
All 3, actually.
Now, I can in turn do the same to each of
12
them,
plus Judas.
creating that.
Judas is an apostle?
Yeah, he's the one on the right. May I interest you in a drink this evening?
I'm not sure. Troy, what do you want to drink?
Scotch, please. What would you like?
Amaretto sour, please.
Now, I can in turn do the same to each of them. There.
The story is more
And
complex than
so
that.
on and so
The
forth.
apostles are all huddled,
Well, first
agitated,
of all,
whispering and pointing.
triangle
All the
increases
turned backs
within the finite
and
space
cloaked
of the brain
intentions.
The area
full of hidden
actually
stories.
decreases.
There's more every time you look back.
Becoming more complex.
Really? Dear?
Actually, Gerard is nearly 35. Almost over the hill.
Want something to drink?
Huh? Oh, scotch, please.
How many apostles? An emerit sour, please.
There was 12. Now,
12
I can
plus
in turn
Judas.
do the same.
Judas was an apostle.
Grandmother?
Yes,
Sure.
Judas is all the way on the right.
And so
The
on.
picture depicts him betraying Jesus.
In the pattern
No,
continues.
the painting portrays
Like
Christ
that.
performing the
Ta-da.
Eucharist,
Tyler.
turning
It's
bread
called
into flesh
Sapinski's
and wine
triangle.
into blood.
Yeah, quite. Sort of. Still will.
I've never thought of geometry as being fun.
Well, right. I'm going to connect you like again.
I'm glad we were able to get a run. This place is tremendously different.
Let me show you. Let's see. Does it have to? Okay. Let's say we have a triangle.
Tyler, could you get up?
I can take a triangle and turn it.
All three, actually.
Yes, my grandfather did.
Oh, Scotch mother, are you
The
alright?
apostles. And I'm painting it.
There's 12. 12 plus Judas. One slashing at an apostle's throat, the other wielding a knife. All the turned backs,
I mean,
cloaked
and it can go on
intentions.
forever.